Hello everyone, welcome to Techgoelogy. This is Shubham, and in today's video I am going to show you how to install Prometheus Alertmanager and Grafana on Windows Server 2022 machine. The same steps can be followed for 2019 and 2016 version of Windows Server. Okay, and let's first discuss about what exactly these tools are. So Prometheus is a time series database which lets you store the metrics of a system in the form of time. Alert Manager is a part of Prometheus which you can download as a separate binary, and this will help you in sending the alerts on different channels like Team, Slack, your mobile phone, message calls, and etc. etc. There are many things that you can do. On the other hand, Grafana is a visualization tool which uses the databases like Prometheus to create a visualization, and this will help you in debugging your system performances and many different issues. Okay, so let's say our CPU is 80% for last 5 minutes and we want to send an alert. So in that case, we can create a rule in Prometheus and Alert Manager which will help us in sending an alert to a Teams channel, and our IT team can fix the issue. So before I continue, I have already created one script in PowerShell which can help you in installing these tools automatically. So if you have any project in your company which wants to automate this installation process, then you can directly use this PowerShell script, and I have also listed all the switches that you can use with it. I hope this will help you. And I have also created a machine in Azure with a DNS already applied, and I have already whitelisted 4 ports into that machine. First one is port 80 that will be used by certboard to generate Let's Encrypt certificates. Next is port 443 which will be used by Grafana for HTTPS communication. Next one is 9090 which will be used by Prometheus, and the last one is 9093 which will be used by Alert Manager. Okay, so these are the ports that I have already whitelisted. So let's get started with the Prometheus first. Okay, so you just need to go to this URL prometheus.io/download, and you need to go for the Windows, right click on this link and then just copy the link. I have already started the RDP to my Azure machine. Let's just expand it and open Edge. I'm just pasting the link here. Press enter. Let's wait for it to download, and it is downloaded. Okay. Now let's go to downloads. Copy this file. Okay, and then just go to C drive and create a new folder. I have already created a folder named PGA. It is short form for Prometheus, Grafana, and Alert Manager. Okay, and then just extract it to this directory. Alright. Okay, so extraction is done. Now let's just rename this file folder so that we can call it easily. Okay. So in this folder, just open a CMD and then just call prometheus.exe. Okay. So I think Prometheus has started. If we just go to Edge again and call localhost :9090, then you should be able to see Prometheus. Okay. So this is very easy to install Prometheus. The only thing which is missing is the authentication and Let's Encrypt SSL. Okay. For I mean, in your production environment or in your company's environment, you cannot let Prometheus open in public, so you need to add authentication here. Okay, so let's first start with SSL configuration. I have just pressed Ctrl C to stop Prometheus. For SSL, I need to have one more tool to install, which is WinAcme. Let's just go to Google, okay, and type WinAcme in the search bar. It should shoot you to a URL which is winacme.com. In the download, just download the latest version, okay, and let's just go to downloads, and then just copy this zip file again to the same directory that we have already created and extract this file. Okay, I'm just going to rename this folder as wax. All right. Now, as I have already told you, I have already created one DNS for this website. Okay, and I have already pasted some commands in my Notepad++. So I'm just going to copy these commands, which will help me in making you understand easier. Okay, so let's open a CMD again, and I'm going to paste this command. In this command, what I have done is like I have called wacs.exe, which is in the same folder that we have just extracted, and then I have named it source as manual, because we are not going to install any certificate on a tool which is IIS or something. WACS or WAX comes with some functionality which lets you install certificates directly to IIS, so you can use it if you are using a IIS website. Then we have hyphen hyphen host parameter, where you will supply your DNS that you have created. Then hyphen hyphen store is PEM files, because we are going to generate PEM files for the certificates. Then PEM files path is a path where I will install my certificates. Then accept TUS is accept terms and conditions, and email address is mandatory. So I have supplied my email address. I'm going to go to my PGA folder, and I'm going to create a new folder with name SSL. Here I will store all my certificates. So if everything goes fine, this will help me in generating the certificate. Okay, so press enter. It is trying to fetch the certificates. Okay, so everything looks fine. It has created the certificates. Let's go to SSL folder, and you can see there are 4 files, and 2 of them we need to use, which is the second last one and the last one, cert and key. All right. So yeah, let's go to the Prometheus, and let's create a new file with name web-config. Okay, and the extension is YAML. All right. So let's open this file, and I need to copy one uh, configuration here, which is TLS server config. Okay, so guys, all the commands that are listed here, I'll copy them into the Medium blog, which I have already created. You can go to Medium and search for my blog. The link is also in the description. If you are having difficulties in following this video tutorial, just go to the Medium blog. There all the commands are listed as well. Okay. Alright, so I have created the web.config file. I have pasted the TLS server config. So TLS server config has 2 parameters, which are cert file and key file. Cert file is the file which is having -cert at the end, and the key file is the file which is having -key at the end. So in the SSL folder we have both the files. I have given the same path here. Alright, so I need to just save this command, go back to my CMD where I initially ran Prometheus, just start again Prometheus, and give one more switch here, which is web config dot file, and you need to supply the path for the web-config dot file, which is my cpga, and then Prometheus and web config. Okay, so it should run now. So I have started this file, and now I need to access Prometheus with the DNS that I have supplied. So this is my DNS, and let's go to my Chrome part, and let's call it with HTTPS and 9090. Sorry. Okay. So as you can see, Prometheus has started loading, and there is a icon which says it is HTTPS secure. And if I go to the certificate, it is showing the date from which to which date it is valid. Okay, so this is what Prometheus has installed with HTTPS. The last thing that we need is the authentication. Okay, so which is missing. For authentication, we need to generate a password in bcrypt format. So there is a website called bcrypt-generator.com. Here you can type any of your strings. So let's say I am typing hello as my password. Let's encrypt, and then I can just copy this string. There is one more configuration that we need to add, which is basic auth users into our web-config.yaml file. Let's go back to our file and then enter this config here, and the encrypted string that we just copied, we can paste it in place of the string that we already have. Okay, so I'm going to go to here and then I'm going to paste this here. All right, the first part of this parameter is the admin, or you can say any username that you want. I'm just going with the admin username, and the password is hello, which is encrypted here. All right. Okay, so I have saved this file again. I need to go to the place where my Prometheus was initially running, and I need to just run the same command again. Okay, no changes required with web.config. And if I go back to the Prometheus URL again and reload this page, it is asking me for a username and password. So I'm going to type the same that I have just added, and Prometheus has started loading with HTTPS and authentication. So here is how you secure Prometheus with HTTPS and authentication. uh, you can just try adding some of the target servers for now. Okay, so this is what Prometheus has installed. The next step is to install the alert manager. Okay, so alert manager is a part of Prometheus, but it doesn't come with its binary folder, so you need to download it separately. Okay, so if I go back to the same page where we downloaded Prometheus, just scroll down and you will find this alert manager for Windows. Just copy the link for Windows and paste it into the edge inside the machine. Okay, and it is downloading, and download is complete. Go back to the downloads folder. Let's go to downloads folder and copy the alert manager zip file to the same folder where we were initially working on. So I'm going to paste it here, extract the file. Okay, and extraction is done. Let's rename it to alert manager. That's also done. And we can do one thing, like just we created a web.config file in Prometheus. The same file works with alert manager for authentication. Okay, and SSL as well. So I'm going to just call cmd inside this alert manager folder, type alert manager, and the same switch that we gave for Prometheus we need to give here, which is web.config.file, and that is our cpga, and let's give it alert manager and web-config.yaml, and it looks like it is started. Now let's go to our Chrome and then call again the same URL. Sorry, my bad. Prometheus and the 9093. This is the port for alert manager, and you can see it is again asking me for the same username and password, and it is installed. So the last thing which is remaining is the Grafana. So let's go back to my Chrome, and I have already opened a link which is grafana.com/grafana/download, and platform is Windows. There are two ways that you can install Grafana with. It is a Windows installer or a standalone Windows binary file. I'm going to go with the download the zip file because I feel this is the easier way of installing Grafana. I'm just going to copy the link for the zip file, go back to my edge, and again I will paste the link inside the machine. It should start downloading, and it is downloaded. Go back to the downloads folder, copy the Grafana zip file, back to the PGA folder, paste it here, and then just extract all the contents. Okay, so Grafana is also extracted. Just rename the folder with Grafana name. Alright. Okay, so for Grafana, first we need to configure the config file for it. Okay, so if I go to the Grafana folder and then conf folder, there are some default files and sample files which they say we should not use. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to copy the sample file and then just we are going to give it a name with grafana.ini. Okay, so I'm just going to edit this file now. So I have opened this file which wherever you see colon or hash, these are comments not used. Okay, so what we can do is like we can just uncomment the data part, and then why we need to uncomment it, because as you can see the default path is a Linux path, and when we run it, it might create errors. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just rename this paths with the actual paths. The log, so data path, there is no data path. I need to create a new folder inside Grafana with name data, and else also I need to create a new folder with name logs or log, whatever you want. I will create a new folder with name logs, and the next two, which is plugins and provisioning, are a part of it, which you can even omit, that's fine. But if you want, you can just provisioning, you can give this path, which is provisioning. Okay, so let's just apply these paths here. I'm just copying here from here to there. Data is done. Next is our logs, and logs are also done. All right, then now the plugins, you can give a path for the plugins. If you have already installed some plugins, you can give them as well the same path. Okay, let's go here again. I am going to just give this plugin bundle path, and that's fine. Okay, and then last one is provisioning. Provisioning is conf slash provisioning, so we're going to go here conf, and then we're going to go with this path. Okay, let's just do one more thing. Inside of plugins bundle, we are just going to give the plugins path and create a new folder with the plugins name. Okay, here you can paste on the plugins that you have downloaded from somewhere and you want to use it with Grafana. All right, so let's save it, and then we have a protocol which is HTTPS that you want to use. So I'm going to just rename it with HTTPS. HTTP address, we need to give a new address here, which is 0.0.0.0. This will help us bind our IP, public IP, to Grafana. All right, HTTP port is 443 because we want to run it on HTTPS. So I'm going to give it 443. Domain is your DNS. So we have already created one DNS. I'm going to go to my Notepad++. I'm going to copy this DNS into the machine. Where is my RDP? Here is the RDP, and I'm going to paste it here. All right. So these are the parameters that we need to change, and the last one is the cert key and cert file. The cert key and file we need to give. We have the paths in SSL folder. We can go to this SSL path. All right. So let's just copy this and cpg SSL, and where is the C? pga/ssl/ our certificate file, and then we can just copy and paste the same with key file. All right, so this is done, and we can just try now with the Grafana. Let's go to Grafana and then bin file. We have this Grafana server.exe. Let's open this Grafana cmd. All right, and hyphen config equal to c pga Grafana, and then we have conf, and then we have grafana.ini. So let's run it. So it is loading. Grafana might take time to start for the first time because it is applying some of the migrations, and I think it is done. Let's see country dashboard provisioning files. I think it's fine. Country alerting provisioning, that's fine. Country notification, okay, some of the things that it can't read, but that's fine. Let's see if our server is running. What we need to do, we need to go back to this URL, and without any port this time. So Prometheus, let's move this port. Let's see if it is running. So as you can see, it is running and it is pointing me to the login URL. You can see it is HTTPS. Connection is secure with the same certificate. Okay, the default are admin and admin. Let's just log in, and you can just skip for the now. Okay, no, skip it, and then Grafana is live. So as you can see, three tools have been installed, and these are not a hard installation, I say, but you can install it on your own with this video, and I think it will help you. The last thing which is remaining, it is the services that we can install on Windows, because we cannot always come and run the CMDs for all of these tools. So let's just Control C for all these CMD that we have opened. Oh my god, the system is really hanging now, because I think three tools are too much for the same. Okay, so let's just do the final thing. Let's install the services. For that, what we need to do, we need to download one more tool which is called NSSM, non-sucking service manager. I mean, you may know, because how to use sc.exe to install services might be sucking. So let's leave it for a different discussion. Let's download this latest release, which was back in 2014. Don't worry, this software works well till now. So let's go to the downloads folder again, copy the NSSM binary to the same folder. So let's extract this NSSM binary. So let's click on extract and then just remove this. NSSM is also extracted. Let's now rename this to NSSM only. Okay, so I have renamed it. So inside NSSM we can go to Win64, and then we have an NSSM.exe. Let's just open CMD here, and we will install three services. I have already copied the commands for all the services. So first we will install Prometheus. Okay, so let's open PowerShell now. You can use any of the things, that's fine. Right, so I'm just opening PowerShell. Just paste the command. Why I have opened PowerShell? Because I have created this command for PowerShell, but you can use the same commands inside CMD. It is easier to read this command in PowerShell, so that's why. Okay, so inside PowerShell you can see I have this nssm.exe. We have this install parameter and then the service name. Okay, after that we need to supply the parameters that we want to run with. Okay, so our first service is Prometheus, and I have given the path for the prometheus.exe, and there are a number of parameters that I have given. First one is the config.file, and then I have given the prometheus.yaml path, which is the configuration file for Prometheus, like where you will mention all the targets that you want to monitor. Okay, next is storage.tsdb.path, where you want to store the data. Web.config.file, we know where we have authentication and SSL. Templates, you can omit these two parameter, templates and libraries. These are for the console libraries and consoles. The next one is web.listen address. It is 0000 colon 9090. So 0000, this kind of IP helps you connecting your softwares to the public IP. For Azure machines, I wasn't able to face any challenges with even I give this or not. That's not a problem. But for some of the clouds that we have, I was facing some challenges binding the DNS to my Prometheus software or any software that I was installing. So giving this listen address I was able to solve this problem. Okay, so if you have any issues of the same kind, you can just give this listen address, or else you can omit it. The external URL is our URL, okay, or the DNS. Web enable lifecycle is a switch where you can enable the Prometheus lifecycle to automatically delete the old data. And the next option is storage.tsdb.retention. Size will help it determine what kind of data we want to delete. So whenever it reaches 10 GB, it will delete the older data. Okay, so I'm going to press enter, and it will create a service which is installed successfully. It is not yet started. Next is our Grafana service. Grafana service is the same. I'm going to uh, just paste it here, and then you can see install Grafana as service and the binary of Grafana server.exe and the hyphen config, the config file. Alright, so this is also installed. Next, the last one is the alert manager. Alert manager has the same type of parameters that Prometheus has. So we are going to install alert manager, alertmanager.exe, config.file, our alertmanager.yaml file, web.config file, our SSL and HTTPS file, and our SSL and authentication file. Web listen is 000 and external URL is HTTPS. So keep in mind that for Prometheus we have this external URL without HTTPS, but for Alert Manager we have external URL with HTTPS. Okay, so press enter and let's just go to the services. Let's see what services are installed. So the first service is Alert Manager. Let's start this. So it is start. Next one is the Grafana. Let's start this. That is start. Now last one is Prometheus. Now let's start this as well. So it is also started. Now let's go back to our Chrome and then try to reload these pages. See if these are actually installed or not. Okay. So Alert Manager is working. Grafana also working. Now let's see our Prometheus. And Prometheus is also working. Okay, so these three tools are now installed with HTTPS and authentication. And I hope you like this video. And if you like this, then don't forget to rate, comment, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel. Also, please go to Medium and please try to follow me there as well. Okay, so I hope uh, this will help you, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.